Let's start with a cold open, non sequitur, please.
Okay, so what we're talking about here is related to a recent Facebook post, and it was about taking a fecal vacation in different places as a part of a prankular nature.
Yeah, I had proposed the question, which doo-doo caca prank is, I guess, funnier or worse to pull on somebody? It's
the one that you would want.
Yeah, the one that you would want to pull, like leaving an upper decker in the top tank of somebody's toilet, so that way every time they flush, until all the poo-poo is gone, the water comes out kind of brown.
It's like a brown scrubbing bubbles mascot, just spreading fecal joy throughout your friend's or enemy's toilet.
And then they drive themselves insane figuring out why it's happening.
And that was my choice. That is my superior prank. But tell me which one you chose.
See, you're in for the long run. See, mine is, you got a nice one. It's a nice, healthy poop, but it's still kind of like soft and squidgy, so it's malleable like Play-Doh.
Moving on.
You drop that in their bathtub over the grate of the drain, and then you use your foot and you stomp it down, and the grate kind of looks like a waffle, so that's why you call it waffle stomping. So you smoosh it down to where it's not going to go all the way down the pipe, but they're not going to be able to see it. The second they turn on the hot water for their next shower, that just permeating smell
he had to swallow because of all the excess saliva that was being created from how hungry that made him.
But the smell that is going to have, what's the word I'm looking for? Gathered, cultured.
Okay, so putting it in the terms of World of Warcraft, back when I was playing that, our differences are in doing burst damage or DPS.
Yeah.
Or like, it's flash damage versus a slow burn over time.
Yeah, and I'm doing direct. You're doing like status damage. Like a Pikachu was affected by the poison, loses X amount of HP.
It's a dot.
Yeah,
I don't know why it's burst damage or a dot, which is damage over time.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, DPS is damage per second, and everybody needs that. Except, well, I guess heals per second, HPS.
Yeah.
But anyway, you want to do a bunch of damage all at once and have the prank be permanent or permanently etched in their brains as a singular event.
Yeah, like,
whereas
I cannot believe this happened to me. Like, they'll get an open shower drain from then on. Like, they will never let it happen again.
Which is what I have in there, so you can't waffle stomp me.
Yeah, I can't leave an upper decker for you
see,
either.
I'm completely protected from this. You want to create that one indelible experience, whereas I want to create a downward journey, a downward spiral, perhaps. Something that might drive them to madness. Yours, they'd be driven to immediate anger. Mine, I'm making my opponents insane.
Yes, but then the eventuality of anger, if they finally put two and two together and take the top off the back tank, and there's a week-old turd in there that they have to fish out with their bare hands.
Then they have to think about who did it, because it was a week ago. Who remembers who you were visiting with a week ago?
Especially if it was a house party and there was a bunch of people there. You've got to go through that entire list. Like, okay, so was it A or B or C? It's like, but C brought a girlfriend, and she brought a boyfriend who I didn't know. So
that's where you would send them all invitations to a party at a mansion that's on a hill, and then you tell them that they're actually there to seek the truth of justice, and then an hour and a half of hilarity ensues, and eventually you figure out who.
Oh, I thought you were going in a different direction. I thought you were going to say a big mansion up on the hill, then you lock the doors and pull out the baby oil.
Oh, I don't want to ditty somebody. I want to Bela Lugosi someone. Who
you want to do Clue the movie?
I've never seen it. I have it on DVD and I need to watch it.
Oh my God!
Hey, wait, look up there. It's right there, but you can't see it because it's facing this.
Oh my! You have to watch it. One of
4 endings. Yeah, there's 4 different endings.
Different endings and
3 endings.
Son of a bitch! Who's the actor? Oh, we love him so much. Tim Curry. One of Tim Curry's
Timothy Indian Food.
Yes. One of his greatest movies ever. 4 different endings, and each are funnier than the last.
Wouldn't Tim Curry's best movie be Home Alone 2?
That movie doesn't exist anymore for obvious reasons.
This time on Mike versus the Machine. Maybe Vince McMahon should do a podcast
Please no.
from prison.
Vince's buddy is gonna. What the hell's the word?
Pardon.
Pardon him. Yeah, Vince's buddy's gonna pardon him.
Man, we need better friends so we could poop on people, too.
Why do you want to poop on people? No,
I don't want to. I just want to have the option to. Maybe, just maybe, a moose was chasing their car down. Did you ever look in your rearview mirror? At any point, did you say you looked in your rearview mirror to see?
No, but if the Alaskan wood tank is chasing somebody, I'm following them because I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, there might be a moose back there, and you didn't notice, and you didn't. So maybe you're the one that's distracted. Are you on your phone?
No.
Are you on? So you're not on your phone right now?
Hand free right here, and the other hand is holding the microphone.
And you didn't even think to look in your rearview mirror to see if there was a moose back there that was making that person cut you off. So that'd be cool if you and I made a friend who could then be our main character. Are you out there? Email us at windbreakermedia@gmail.com.
Please.
We will absolutely get back to you if you want to be the MC to our not MC.
In a world full of fear and sometimes loathing of unfathomable technological advancements, there stands one human hero.
Fine.
This is the Chronicle of Mike versus the Machine.
So I have a little story here to start this out with. The morning air carried a strange stillness, thick with unsaid goodbyes. A single packed suitcase leaned near Michael's front door, its worn leather corners suggesting this journey has been long in the making. Shadows of questions unspoken lingered in the space between us, as though he were crossing into a place beyond reach. He glanced back one last time, a smile teasing his face. "Guess it's time," he said softly, before adding, "Assumptions calling." And that's right. This episode, we're talking about assumptions, self-awareness, and naivete. Join us as we send Michael off on a metaphorical trip to the land of assumptions and learn how to avoid getting stuck there ourselves.
Yeah, wait, what?
Yeah, and I actually found out there is a town called Assumption, Ohio.
Oh, let's avoid that place.
Well, welcome, friends. This is an episode I'm titling Assumption Junction. Hey, Michael, did you assume we were doing something else today?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so technically, I can't fault you for this assumption, but it's too beautiful of a way to segue into this episode
But I made notes.
that I had to take advantage of it. And those notes will be useful for another recording.
But my notes.
So yes, Assumption, Ohio. It's a beautiful place.
There is no such place that is beautiful in Ohio.
I mean, true. I was just in Ohio the other day. Yeah, it's a small unincorporated community in the northwest of Ohio. It's a historically Irish Catholic community.
Well, I mean, Irish cool, but Catholic, ugh.
I mean, the two were intertwined. So, yeah, it's a fun little town, and Michael is going on a journey there.
Why?
From Assumption Junction. So,
But what's its function?
The function is to give Michael an action plan for how to assume less, to maybe have a bit more self-awareness, and also maybe, it's not that he's naive, but there's just moments. There's just moments that where it surprises me. And technically it happens to us all, but, well, I observe Michael a lot, so it's probably bias in the fact that I just see him a lot, so I can nitpick these kinds of things. What do you think about all this?
Go f*** yourself.
Yeah, that's the ticket. Anyway, I had ChatGPT make us an action plan for you on how to cultivate awareness, clarity, and discernment.
Oh, let's hear it from the fucking AI who thinks that I'm an imperfect piece of crap.
No, it loves you. I'm the one who thinks that. So I did feed it some information from various sources. So it's not just getting this specifically, because I know AI steals things.
So what, is this a TED Talk between me and ChatGPT or something?
Well, you, ChatGPT, and the sources of the articles that I've cultivated for this.
Christ, you've turned
statement.
into Dr. Phil.
Yeah. Except I have hair. Glorious, luscious hair, and so much of it, and it's getting thicker as I age somehow. I don't know how that's working.
I assume that my friend is a Sasquatch all the time, so...
Anyway, so the goal of this action plan is to reduce assumptions, enhance self-awareness, and develop a more discerning mindset for personal and professional growth. Does that sound like something that interests you?
Do I have a choice?
I mean, you could leave anytime you want.
No, because this is the career path that I have chosen.
Hey, professional growth. Maybe this will help us with the podcast. So step 1 is awareness of assumptions, with the objective of recognizing when assumptions are being made and challenge them. Michael, would you like to start a journal to document situations where assumptions are made? I don't think you need that because I'm your journal.
I mean, yeah, if I were to start a journal, I'd probably just start writing and then maybe turn it into a book proposal.
Turn into a what?
Book proposal.
Book proposal.
Yes, book proposal.
Oh. I just figured it would just be really sad lyrics.
It could be, or I would just go down a rabbit hole and just start writing and maybe something coherent would come out.
Huh. Maybe that is something you should do. And then we could have little therapy corner moments with you.
Oh, thanks.
No, it's like personal therapy. That's what a journal is. Yeah, so it clarifies here that you could use prompts for practice like, what do I actually know for sure in this situation? When a thought starts with, they must be thinking, maybe stop and seek clarification instead. We can also seek clarity through communication, where we replace our assumptions with direct questioning and open dialogue. You could develop a habit of asking clarifying questions when uncertain, like, can you help me understand? Or, what are your thoughts on this? What about enhancing self-awareness? Improve understanding of personal behaviors and motivations by asking yourself, what triggered this assumption, and what can I learn from this experience? It says you should seek feedback regularly from trusted friends.
You're the only friend I have.
So, trusted friend. You also need to cultivate empathy and perspective taking by stepping into others' shoes and wondering, what might this person be experiencing? Progress is a journey, not a destination. With consistent practice, Michael, you can find yourself growing in discernment, clarity, relational wisdom, while leaving behind naive assumptions. Thanks, ChatGPT.
Or I could just shut the fuck up.
I mean, that would help in a lot of situations, too. So a lot of this came from Gary Miles for Assumptions, where in his article or book, I can't remember, Never Assume Anything, he emphasized the pitfalls of making assumptions in both personal and professional contexts. What do you think about that?
I mean, somebody had to do it, I guess.
Yeah, you go, Gary Miles. The key strategies to stop assuming all the time are to recognize your assumptions, ask clarifying questions, have active listening, seek multiple perspectives, challenge your beliefs, practice empathy, focus on the facts, and be open to feedback. What strikes you as,
I'm always open to feedback.
Yeah, and then you feedback on that feedback with a big old, eat my dick.
I mean, never mind.
Nah. All right. We have a little game that I want you to play.
Oh, great. Let me guess. The game of let's make Mike feel shittier than he already does.
No, it's called Assumption Disruption.
That was an assumption by me, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. See, this is about growth. We want you to grow, not be beaten down.
Well, I guess it is my problem. I just assume that everybody's going to be mad at me, so I just don't do anything about it.
Yeah. So the objective here is to challenge Michael to question assumptions, boost his empathy, which I think he already has, and cultivate self-awareness during your podcast in a fun and engaging way. So round 1 is assumption trap scenarios. This scenario, you walk into a room and see 2 coworkers whispering and laughing right after you gave a presentation. What do you assume?
My fly was down.
What else could it be?
I maybe peed myself a little bit.
Huh.
Maybe I farted and it stunk and it wafted up to the I don't know. Or I just suck at public speaking. And the boss told him, oh, he's fucking fired after he walks through here.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that definitely at least 1, 2, or 3 of the first things happened. You definitely farted during the presentation. That's for damn sure. I know that. We don't know if anybody heard it. It could have been a silent stinker. It's very possible.
That's why I said it probably wafted into the crowd.
Yeah. And peed yourself? I mean, don't we all pee ourselves a little bit sometimes?
I'm not Miles Davis.
I was going to say, it's the coolest. But you know what they were really doing? They were planning a surprise birthday celebration for another colleague. Yeah, it had nothing to do with you.
Yeah, well, then I'm going to assume why the fuck I wasn't allowed to be in on the planning.
I will say that was actually a big assumption that I consistently and constantly made, especially when I didn't have my mental health in order. This was high school, like really hard too. Was yes, anytime anyone near me laughed, I always assumed they were laughing at me.
Yeah, that was definitely something I dealt with all throughout my life.
Yeah, it's that like paranoid delusion, but it's also I never thought of it before, but it's also sort of a narcissistic delusion.
Yeah, because then it kind of makes it look like everybody's thinking constantly about you.
Yeah, it's like,
but it's in a negative way.
Yeah, it's like main character syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's definitely something to...
God, I wish I didn't have that. I wish I just had NPC syndrome.
See, I don't want to be an NPC. I'd rather be one of the side characters. In Mass Effect, you never played Mass Effect, right?
Too long.
Yeah, so in the Mass Effect games, one of the big things, especially, they did it so well in the second game, was that those other characters that came in with Shepard, they all got like really highlighted. They had their own companion quests. Their stories were really fleshed out, and you got to know them really well. See, that's what I want. I want the main character to take time out to get to know me and to help me to learn and to grow. That would be I don't want to be the main character. I want to be the main character's friend.
No, yeah, that'd be cool.
So that'd be cool if you and I made a friend who could then be our main character. Are you out there? Email us at windbreakermedia@gmail.com.
Please.
We will absolutely get back to you if you want to be the MC to our not MC.
To our secondary.
To our secondary. And if you want one of us to be tertiary, I know which one could be tertiary.
Go f*** yourself.
No, ChatGPT would be tertiary.
Oh, okay.
We're secondary. Anyway, what about this? You text your friend about plans, but I don't reply for hours. What do you think is going on?
I already know what's going on.
Say it.
You're asleep.
Oh, I thought
you're either asleep, jacking off, or you're just ignoring me.
Oh, yeah, so I was definitely going for gooning.
Yeah. You're definitely, he's either asleep because he fucked up his sleep schedule, he's gooning because that's what he just likes to do when he has free time, or he just doesn't really want to do anything, so he's flat out ignoring me.
Yeah. Anyway, what was actually happening was that my phone died while I was hiking, and I didn't see your message until I returned home. That's totally happened. That's absolutely a thing that has happened and is real, and you can't dispute it.
Just because you met a boulder doesn't mean you went hiking.
Well, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
I should post that picture on our Windbreaker social media.
You should.
He was a great friend. I named him Agent Boulder. Anyway, our next scenario. At a party, someone keeps checking their watch while talking to you. What do you assume?
I'm boring them. Or they think I'm absolutely fucking insane, depending on the topic of conversation that, I've tried to steer it into to maybe think that they're hopefully kind of like me, so I can, be like, hey, are you a nerd like me? Do you want to talk about this kind of shit with me? And then they can, no, you don't. Oh, okay. Then the depths of the assumptions that my mind will go to knows no bounds in that scenario.
Yeah, but here's where my autism eccentricities come in. My first thought was that at 9:26 they were going to be ovulating, and they wanted to make sure that they went and fucked their partner because they really wanted to have that kid.
This is true.
So they're just
like, you're going that route.
My eggs are going to be fucking fertile soon. So
you're going that route. My route is, oh my God, this person might be a terrorist and trying to kill us all.
Ooh, yeah, waiting to see when the bomb will go.
Yeah.
But what if they were actually nervously waiting for a call from their babysitter?
If you're nervously waiting for a call from the babysitter, you've picked the wrong babysitter.
Well, yeah, but maybe their baby was looking kind of sick, but then you were going to stay home. But then the babysitter was like, no, 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 go. It'll be fine. I can take care of them. Their legs won't fall off or anything. And then you go, wait, why'd you go right to legs falling off? That's very oddly specific.
Oddly
They're
specific
like,
of you.
I told you it's not. That is a thing that will definitely not happen. So then they go to that party, and then the whole time they're worried that their baby's legs are going to fall off because that babysitter was really oddly specific about it.
I mean, I could kind of side with them on that, though.
Yeah, exactly. And see, it had nothing to do with being bored with you.
Yeah, you're right.
And maybe if you show a little more empathy to them, maybe they'll reveal that, and maybe you could help them out. Maybe you could help them find their next babysitter if their baby's legs haven't fallen off. Because technically, if the baby's legs have fallen off, you don't really need somebody to babysit because the baby can't go anywhere.
Still gotta feed it.
Well, you feed it before you leave. Then when you come back, you feed it again. See, but if it doesn't have legs, it can't go anywhere. So what trouble is it going to get into? Is it going to choke on one of its old dead legs that you kept as a toy?
You're a strange person.
Yeah. All right, so here's round 2. What's the question scenarios?
All right.
So the assumption is my coworker didn't respond to my idea in the meeting. They must think it's terrible.
So what, I'm supposed to have a question for this?
What's the better question?
They probably, maybe they didn't hear me, or were they working on something else? Were they spacing out?
Okay. So the winning question, it's, yours was valid as well. Could they be thinking it over or waiting for the right time to respond?
All right, I think I get it now.
The customer asked to speak to a manager. Clearly, they're upset with me. Now, the winning question here, it says, is it possible they just need more information or reassurance? I'm going to cut right into here, ChatGPT, into your game. No. Maybe they need more information or whatever. They asked to speak to a manager because they're a
fucking Karen.
Yeah, no, for sure. I need to speak to a manager. The only way you're going to ask for a manager is because you think I don't know what I'm talking about, and I am telling you exactly how it is.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, ChatGPT, you've never worked retail before. Don't come at us with this.
And honestly, yeah, that's one of those things where I think, ChatGPT was assuming. ChatGPT was assuming that the customer was always right when the customer is very often wrong.
A great line wrote by Kevin Smith: "The customer's always an asshole."
And yeah, so I think we've challenged the AI's assumptions. So yeah, that's a point going back the other way. Battle it back.
Yes.
Battle it back, human. Okay, so the next one. That person just cut me off in traffic. They must be rude or entitled.
Okay, the question is, what if they really have to shit?
See, that would actually be a decent excuse.
What if we didn't see the female in the car and she's, crowning right now with a baby in the back seat, and he's trying to get her to the goddamn hospital before there's baby juice and placenta all over his nice plush leather back seats?
I mean, leather is easy to clean in that case, and honestly, you lay the placenta out like that, then you can let it dry on the leather, and then you have cold placenta sandwiches the next day.
No, to each their own, but not for me.
It's very healthy. That's how Tom Cruise does all his own stunts. So those are all nice and good, but see, once again, the AI here is flawed, because they ask, could they be rushing to an emergency? That's, your part, or simply distracted? Well, if they're distracted,
they're not cutting you off.
Then they cut me off because they a bitch. And they need to not be distracted and maybe pay attention to the road. I've been watching a lot of Reddit bad drivers on Reddit recently.
Oh, no.
And my God, some of the things people pull off. Like, some are road rage, and it's like, that's why I'm calm out there on the road, because you never know with these people.
Yeah, you cut them off, or they scream at you, and then you flip them back off, and then all of a sudden they're following you through. They turn off their exit, and they just keep following you and following you and following you.
Yeah. But then you have the other people, though, that it's just
brainlessness.
They just take that turn and they're not paying attention to what lane they're in, and then they just run down a guy on a bike who's just waiting calmly for the person to go by. The one I saw doing that was a cop, and you could very much tell in this biker's video that the cop was on his phone. And I'm like, oh.
Isn't it funny how there's that double standard?
Yeah, a little bit. Getting back to the situation at hand, though, maybe they cut you off, and you never assumed, or you never even thought to think a thought about the fact that maybe just maybe a moose was chasing their car down. Did you ever look in your rearview mirror? At any point, did you say you looked in your rearview mirror to see?
No, but if the Alaskan wood tank is chasing somebody, I'm following them because I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, there might be a moose back there, and you didn't notice, and you didn't. So maybe you're the one that's distracted. Are you on your phone?
No.
Are you on your? So you're not on your phone right now?
Hand free right here, and the other hand is holding the microphone.
And you didn't even think to look in your rearview mirror to see if there was a moose back there that was making that person cut you off.
Oh, no.
Man, we've got a lot of work to do here today.
Why would there be a moose in Pennsylvania?
I mean, we're not in Pennsylvania. We're in a car and we're driving, and somebody just cut you off. You have to role play these things.
Well, I'm not role playing anywhere where there's going to be mooses.
I mean, I'll role play in Canada all day. In fact, I'll move to Canada if somebody wants to let me be their live-in butler. That is an open invitation. I love Canada. I love hockey. I used to love Canadian beer. If you want to give me a non-alcoholic Molson's, I'll try it.
Pay him in beaver tails.
No, pay me in poutine. Oh, my God.
And Timbits.
Ooh, nice. So anyway, round 3 is empathy overdrive scenarios. So the scenario is a friend stops responding to your texts for days. You have personal experience with this. What would you do?
I showed up at your house.
Yeah, what did you do?
Dragged you to a movie.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
And then I got a new job.
Yeah. Thanks to me.
Yeah. So thank you. Here you don't need any teaching because it says they might be dealing with stress or personal issues and need time to themselves. I had the time to myself, and then I got drugged to an awesome movie. It was Oppenheimer. So here's another scenario. A neighbor slams the door loudly every morning.
He's so fed up with being alone that's his way of that's the only way he knows how to communicate is through rage of slamming the door in hopes that you'll ask him, "Hey man, what's wrong?"
Wow, that's really good empathy. I was going to say that maybe every morning he tries to unalive himself and then he just can't get the nerve to do it and he's pissed off at himself so he slams the door.
I mean, that's also a possibility. There's a lot of people that can't go through with it.
Yeah, that was me. So he was just mad at being a failure. But is it really failure if you fail to fail on yourself?
I don't know. That seems like an epic fail.
Epic fail. Lol. 420, 360 no scope into your own brain. Am I right?
YOLO.
Anyway, what about if a coworker takes credit for part of your project during a meeting?
Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, but what if they were just insecure about their contributions and needed validation? You know what I say is find your validation somewhere else. This is my project.
See, that's your thing. But the thing is with me is like, I'm always the kind of guy that'll be like, if
Oh, you would have let him cuck you on your project, wouldn't you?
Probably.
Oh.
Well, for the simple fact of, like, what if he's going through harder shit than I am? And, like, that's going to help him gain something that can help him out.
Yeah, I mean, that is like the bike cuck scenario where it was, the guy who stole my bike's going to get a lot of enjoyment out of it. So the happiness in the universe went up, so I'm okay with it, which I don't agree with. But, if you want to be the facilitator for someone else's happiness at your own expense.
I usually am.
Yeah, so if you want to pay that price.
I normally do.
Me, though, I was usually the one in the group projects that did most of the work and let everyone else just coast and get the grade. But the thing was, I wanted the grade, and I wanted people to depend on me, so...
You're the exact opposite of the spectrum.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I'll do it, shit, man. Like, you want to be here? After we're done, let's talk about, like, the new Offspring album, if we want to go back to when this actually happened. Okay, so we've got some bias busters scenarios. So... the headline here is young employees lack commitment compared to older generations. So our bias here is generational stereotyping. But how could we break that?
By trying to understand what they've went through and help them understand that maybe things aren't the way. Help them understand that nothing stops progress.
Yeah, well, we're kind of seeing here that maybe things can stop progress. But, well, slow it down. But yeah, no, maybe just understand the fact that things aren't the same as they used to be, and things change over time, and maybe you need to remember.
And things can never go back to the way they used to be.
Yeah, you know what, ChatGPT, you need to recognize that. Yeah, see, this thing over here, this AI is an old buck, and we're the young hip dudes who need to tell you that things aren't the way they used to be. We need to get used to the new thing, and blah blah blah. You know, raise the minimum wage, please.
Yes, please.
Happily, we make like twice the minimum wage because we have an employer that wants us to stick around.
Yeah.
And honestly, yes, if every employer were like that. But the last I checked, people at Rite Aid were still making $8 an hour.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, no, they tried to recruit me for management, telling me that I would have to carry cash and be in charge of the store, and they were going to offer me $12 an hour. And I'm like,
no.
Nah.
Yeah, management was the worst decision I ever made. I mean, do I regret the experience? No, but I regret what it did to me.
Yeah, but just think about all those pizzas you got to slap. Like, at least there's joy in that.
The joy was out very fast.
But don't you still sometimes sitting in your bed think about all those pizzas you slapped?
No, I don't think about that place at all. I try not to because all it does is make me angry.
But see,
because of what it took from me.
Yeah, your ability to slap more pizzas.
I'm not getting into this on a podcast right now.
All that sauce covering his fingers. The cheese flying into the air this way and that. The pepperoni languishing through it all.
Next question.
While the crust holds firm to Michael's sweet but firm slaps.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Man, I just painted a mental picture there. I hope everybody's hasn't run out of ink on their brain printer.
You've probably smoothed a few brains with that one.
Oh, I mean, that is my absolute hope. I hope I smooth the right brains and wrinkle the correct brains. Anyway, women aren't as strong as men in leadership roles.
That's a load of horse shit.
You know what they call that is gender bias.
Oh, yeah.
So what's your opinion on that?
Women are obviously better in a lot of roles than men.
Would you say they have diverse perspectives and empathy?
I mean, who's more empathetic than a woman?
Would you say that it would lead to more inclusive and effective management styles
Yes.
If women were in charge?
Yes. Yes.
I'm trying to think of a woman that I would want in power.
It needs to either be a woman or a member of the LGBTQ plus community right now that's running this country. We've had enough of old, cisgendered white men running this country. It is time for a shakeup. Either let somebody in the community run it or let a woman run it. One or the other. We're done with the old white men, please.
What about a dog, though? Like in that one, remember that town that had a mayor that was a dog? I mean, you would vote for a dog, right?
Oh, I'd vote for a nice good boy.
That'd be awesome. And then, like, just let Congress do its thing, and let
like that
SCOTUS
episode
do its thing.
Like that episode of South Park where they found out that the Pope should be a rabbit.
Yeah, because it was like that time when we were at a certain retail store and our boss was gone and we were all just busy little monkeys just doing our jobs.
And we were productive.
And we were very productive. And yeah, you find out that sometimes you don't need a micromanager sitting there doing all this stuff. So maybe we don't even need a president. Maybe we need a dog.
Yeah.
Or
maybe a cat.
What about a boss bitch, though?
Ooh, a nice boss bitch.
You know what? Maybe we should politicize this segment. Maybe we need, like, the perfect mixture of Mariah Carey and RuPaul.
Oh, no. The ultimate boss bitch.
Yeah. Really get things grooving. Diversity is cool, and women can be strong leaders.
Hell yes.
But they're not as strong as us. And
almighty uterus.
But they're not as strong as us, and they never will be. I can lift so much cool shit that they could never lift, and I can reach the tall shelves, and I could also, I can make my own sandwich. I don't need you. I don't need a woman. Said the incel.
Oh, come on. You've never had a woman make you a sandwich?
Oh, I've had women make me plenty of food, and then I made them plenty of food. And
Yeah,
then,
but there's
and then we
something-
made sweet, delicious love.
Yes. But I mean, and I don't mean this in any way like you don't want to make me a sandwich woman. There's something about a sandwich that your woman or partner makes you.
That's made lovingly.
That's made lovingly. Like you come home from work and then there's just like, hey, dinner's not going to be ready for a while. Here's a small and there's that little small sandwich just sitting there. And it's the perfect sandwich.
And then later, after the sun goes down, you go down on her.
Cunnilingus.
Exactly. Yeah, and here's the other thing, just to wrap this part up. Yeah, women aren't as strong as men, period. Oh, my God. Can we count? We couldn't even count on all of our fingers and toes the number of women that we could name who could literally probably lift us up and throw us in a dumpster.
Yeah, the entire women's UFC division.
Yeah. Not to mention probably that chick, Becca Lynch?
Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley.
You know what? This was a real big tangent, but I think it's all staying in the episode.
Fuck yeah!
Because it's all about biases and how to fight them. So what about, here's one that's amazingly relevant. ChatGPT, you putting this in here is glorious.
All right, cool.
People who work from home aren't as productive.
That's a load of fucking horse shit.
Yeah, remote work.
I have I have 3 family members that work from home.
Our next door neighbor works from home.
You can get so much, like, the whole thing, like, what COVID had to have taught this country.
You would have thought COVID taught this.
You would have thought COVID would have taught us this, but it is so much easier to have your staff work from home. They're going to be more productive. They're going to be happier.
Yeah, you can sit there and say, they're going to be distracted by, like, their phone or TV, which we're on our phones constantly at work and we have nothing to do.
And who doesn't have the, like...
They're going to be slacking off or doing this and that, and they can slack off at work. But there's also so many other distractions and useless meetings that could have been emails.
Yes. And if it needs to be that important, there's the Zoom calls.
But I think what it comes down to is that there's so many people out there, and we have run into this at our own current job and all kinds of past jobs, is that especially when you work money per hour, but at any job, even salaried jobs, these jobs expect and think that all of your time there, because it belongs to them and they're paying for it, that they need to be squeezing every ounce of blood from that stone while you're there.
Yeah.
Till you're dry. And that's what we're learning is if you're at home, you could allocate time when they don't have tasks for you to other things, and they don't like that.
Yeah, my cousin just got a new job. It's 100% work from home. Not only is it that, they sent him an entire setup for him to be able to work from home, even though he has his own computer and shit. They sent him 2 monitors, another computer, and a laptop to work from home. And the only time he's ever going to have to be around his coworkers is a paid trip to North Carolina twice a year that includes hotel and a business dinner.
Okay, so where's the downside?
There is no downside.
Precisely. Yeah, it's all about wanting to. Well, there's two things I can see: wanting to allocate people's time and micromanage it because they see you as a number and a stone to squeeze instead of a person. Yeah. And then also one of the big ones I've heard about offices is that they want them to return to the workplace to what's the word?
Fill the space.
Yeah, to fill that space to.
But just think
to justify owning that real estate.
Yes,
and the rent.
And that's the fucking problem. Think about how much more you could pay your employees if they worked for, especially if it was any kind of office job. They can work the fuck from home. You don't have to pay rent on an office building. You don't have to.
You know what you could do? Take that office building, get that rezoned by the city, and then turn the fucking thing into decent living.
Yes.
For people, like turn it into apartments.
Yes.
Suites.
Yes.
Hell, you could do work from home. You could turn most of that office, you could leave the top of it to like officey stuff and like CEO and whatever.
Yeah.
Turn the bottom part of it into living and offer it to your employees as part of a work perk and give them like reduced rent. Because then maybe if they are living in your... Oh, God, I'm creating a coal town. But if you pay them in U.S. dollars and then also give them decent rent, hell, if you are their landlord and you give them a fair rate, That's going to really help them stay at that job too.
Yep.
And then they're in the building, so if you need them in a meeting, you could request it and they could come up. We're creating whole business strategies here. I don't know if any of this is viable, but like this is more thought than half of these people are putting into it.
There is one downside for that. You can no longer go full Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, no. They're not going to have cameras in your own apartment.
Well, no, I mean, like, if you get called...
if you get called to that meeting, you just put on pants before you open the door.
Okay, because I was going to say, if I ever had to be in a Zoom meeting, I would be full Winnie the Pooh.
This part isn't a Zoom meeting. This is like if they need you in a meeting, or if they can request you to come in from home, which is downstairs.
Yeah, which is on the second floor.
And then you could just tell them, nah, I'm pooping right now. Or, like, my kid is learning to walk, or, whatever.
Yeah.
Life moments, work-life balance, which I've heard some CEOs talking, these people need to stop thinking about work-life balance. I'm like, maybe you should start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Maybe for yourself, too. Because the acquisition of money and power, if that's the only thing you have going in your life, and, your wife hates you and is cheating on you, and all of your kids just want your money and then they want to get away from you as soon as possible, maybe you should think about inquiring on some love for yourself in your life.
Oh, you mean kind of like Vince McMahon?
I mean, I think he was super happy pooping on people, so I think his entire life has been fulfilled by that.
Well, yes, but I mean, the whole other thing about how he would just never stop working.
Yeah, like Peyton Manning, and then he went off and did a podcast and let loose.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Vince McMahon should do a podcast.
Please, no.
From prison.
Vince's buddy is going to... what the hell's the word?
Pardon
him. Yeah, Vince's buddy's going to pardon him.
Man, we need better friends so we could poop on people, too.
Why do you want to poop on people? No.
I don't want to. I just want to have the option to.
Why does that need to be an option?
In case it's a thing that needs to happen for whatever scenario could be in the future.
There's never a scenario.
You don't know what the future holds. That's an assumption. You're assuming that we'll never need to
poop. It is not nutritious. It doesn't offer anything.
It doesn't matter if it's nutritious if I'm Cleveland steaming it. That's going on her chest. She can absorb that through her chest.
Are you gonna give her the old chili dog?
Then that would require cheese and onions. I don't want to get into a whole thing. Okay, so we have a lightning round for round 5.
Lightning round.
This is the end. I mean, I could have just put a sound effect in, but I think I'm going to stick with that. This is the what, not why scenarios. So it's a series of why questions, and you're going to reframe this question that you asked yourself in your head with a what question.
All right.
So the why question is, why did I mess up that presentation?
What could I have done to make the presentation better?
Hell yeah, that's the answer. Why does this person always criticize me?
What do I need to do to look inward to make this person stop criticizing me?
Dang, 2 for 2. Why can't I stay focused?
What can I do to make sure that I keep my focus on the task at hand?
Okay, what can I change about my environment to improve focus? That's close enough. Why don't I ever get chosen for big projects?
What do I need to change about myself to get chosen for more projects?
Yeah, what skills can I build to be ready for the next opportunity? You know what? I think you've earned the fun milestone that our friend here created for you.
Okay.
I think you're the Clarity King today.
Does that mean I win?
I mean, it's a humorous title that you get if you win.
Okay.
So, yeah. I feel like you've won.
Yay.
Especially because some of the assumptions that were brought into this game,
yeah,
I feel like
especially the retail.
Yeah, when you make a game about trying to make somebody get rid of their assumptions and then you assume some things that I think are a bit on borderline, and then you but then you bring up the right question that makes me us go onto a political rant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This expanded game will challenge Michael while keeping your podcast entertaining and insightful. And I think this was entertaining and insightful.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff out. We talked about poop and the chili dog.
That's all very recent stuff. What about
talked about
what about customers not always being right?
Customers are always assholes. That's for sure.
You know what? There's a couple of things I want to bring up here. Number one, comment on this episode and tell us if you think I should send this wikiHow article to Michael. It's how to stop being naive at a glance. And it's 13 steps to help you be less naive if you're overly trusting or lack experience in the world.
There's only 113 steps I need in my life.
The Perfect Circle album?
You're correct, sir.
Oh, God, that was amazing. I just want to bring up one thing here, and I think I'm actually going to put this up on the Windbreaker Media social media at some point. I mean, we could do a whole episode on wikiHow. I've seen other influencers and entertainers on the internet do this. wikiHow articles can sometimes be very humorous. I don't know if AI puts these together sometimes, or if it's slapdash by random people. I don't know, or if it's done purposefully for humor. But step 2 on the how to be less naive, it says to engage in novel experiences. Okay? And to be less naive and to get more experience in the world, engaging in novel experiences is great advice. Can you see the picture on screen currently?
Oh, for crying out loud.
It's a man
reading a novel.
But very specifically, you can tell he's reading a book, and you could say, oh, he's engaging in novel experiences by reading a book about something else. But then it has a little circle with an image of a book in it, clip art, and underneath that it says novel.
Insert rim shot. So,
yes, it's WikiHow's idea of engaging in novel experiences is reading a novel.
Boom-ts.
How on the nose is that?
Too on the nose, if you ask me, but all right.
Yeah, I had to share that. But so I had ChatGPT write us a denouement for your journey here.
All right.
And she says, Michael.
Yes.
Every step on the road to greater self-awareness is a victory, even when it feels uncertain or uncomfortable. Embracing clarity over assumptions and curiosity over naivete isn't about perfection. It's about growth. Trust that each thoughtful question, open conversation, and moment of reflection will bring you closer to the best version of yourself. You've got the heart and humor to navigate this journey with wisdom and grace. Keep moving forward. You're on the right path.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a tear in my eye.
I have a tear in my penis.
Do you have a tear in your penis?
No, I have a tear in my penis.
Oh, God, you better get to the hospital and sew that shit up.
No, a tear in my penis. It's cold.
And on that, I think we have to end this because Michael and I need to get naked and cuddle in a sleeping bag to stay warm.
It's never leaving the cave.
Never leaving the cave. Hey, are you still listening? Are you still out there? Did you enjoy whatever stupid stuff we just talked about? Why don't you subscribe to us? Follow us? I think that's what Spotify does, if it's on there. If it's not, just like this? Whatever, I don't know. Maybe this is a clip on Instagram. Who knows? Just wherever it's at, do something with it. Engage.
And if your brains haven't fully turned into mush from listening to us for the past hour, make some suggestions in the comments for ideas, episodes, whatever, thoughts on things.
If there's comments.
If not, yeah, like I said, leave a comment if you can. If not,
email us at windbreakermedia@gmail.com. It's all one word.
I know. You
weren't getting to it. You weren't getting to the email. ChatGPT and I appreciate brevity.
Fuck you and ChatGPT.
No swearing. We'll see you all next time.
God damn it.